In October 1986, the night was filled with music and eyes filled with tears. But that came later, because in May of 1981, a pack of unexpected creatures assumed a permanent place in the memory of sunlight. The world would never have experienced those things quite the right way, if not for Gillian Lynne. Gillian Lynne was born in England in 1926. By the time she was in second grade, her mom was desperate because teachers kept telling her that Gillian was a problem. She wouldn't sit still, disrupted entire classrooms, and at home she was known as Wrigglebottom. Come on, that's adorable. Mom was finally at a point of being willing to try just about anything. So she made an appointment with the family doctor. There had to be something he could diagnose. On the day of the appointment, Doc went through all the normal motions, but he did something surprising. He saw Gillian and decided to test a hypothesis. He asked Mom to join him for a private chat in the hallway. Mom was probably worried out of her mind that he was going to say that Gillian was hopeless, and there just wasn't a cure. On the way out of the room, the doctor turned on the small radio that he liked to keep there. He was probably intending for Gillian not to be able to hear the conversation. But it turns out the doc didn't want to chat with her mom. He wanted Mom to see Gillian too. He closed the exam room door most of the way. Then to Mom, "Shh, just watch." Gillian's fidgeting became the music that was coming out of that little radio. She twirled and leaped, and her face was filled with joy. The doc had officially proven his theory and delivered his diagnosis. He turned to Mom and famously said, "There is nothing wrong with your child. She is a dancer." With a diagnosis, of course, there's a prescription. And for Gillian, that was dance class. That prescription got filled real fast. Hey, I'm a mom, I get it. Gillian later said in an interview that in class, quote, "Everyone was just like me. They needed to move to be able to think. It was wonderful." At 15, she was dancing with the Ballet Guild. And by 17, and for the following 7 years, she was a soloist with what later became the Royal Ballet. During World War II, Gillian and the Royal Ballet were in Europe, dancing for Allied troops. She remembered, quote, "We were dancing with the bombs falling all around us." But she didn't remember being afraid. It was fabulous. In 1951, she joined the London Palladium as a star dancer, where choreography was created specifically for her immense talent. In case you're not getting the picture, Gillian was a force to be reckoned with. Throughout the 1950s, she danced, was on TV. But in 1962, she added a new line to her resume when she was asked to replace a choreographer who jumped ship. Onward and upward, folks, because 1981 brought one of her most memorable roles, about 40 years after she was initially diagnosed as a dancer. See, there was this dude who had taken some T.S. Eliot poems and adapted them for the stage. His lyrics shone with music, but Gillian brought the characters to life. While she developed the choreography, she watched how certain creatures moved, how their muscles and tendons stretched and flexed. And on May 11th, 1981, in London's West End, she and Andrew Lloyd Webber introduced audiences to Rum Tum Tugger, Mr. Mistopheles, and that cast of unexpected characters. Cats ran for about 9,000 performances in London. It became the longest-running show in Broadway history, won 7 Tony Awards, including Best Musical. Gillian received a nomination, but no award. That time. Well, Webber wanted Gillian for another production. And on October 9th, 1986, that production opened in London. It was the first time theatergoers met a tragic, masked composer who had fallen in love with a shy and eager chorus girl and commanded her to sing. Sing for me. That production won every major British theater award. The original cast recording was the first British production to enter the charts at #1. Then, following its debut on Broadway in 1988, it, like its predecessor, won 7 Tonys, including for Best Musical. Then, in 2006, it was deemed the longest-running show on Broadway, much to the dismay of a certain pride of cats. And on a personal note, because come on, I have to, The Phantom of the Opera has been breaking my heart for more years than I'm willing to tell you. And I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there. No one, not one person, will ever compare to the pitiable, haunting, and heartbreaking phantom that Michael Crawford sang into life. Sorry, moving on. So, were you paying attention when I said that Gillian didn't win that little award earlier? Yeah, well, she did end up winning a Tony. Twice. One for Cats in 1983, the other for Phantom of the Opera in 1988. Both for Best Choreography. Duh. It wasn't just Tonys, though. In addition to many other awards. In 1997, she was appointed a Commander of the Order of the British Empire, and in 2014 was appointed Dame Commander. And in May of 2018, the New London Theatre was christened with a new name, the Gillian Lynne Theatre. It was the first theater named for a woman outside the royal family. Okay, yeah, sure, she wasn't part of the royal family, but she's dance royalty. Just saying. I can't leave out that she and her husband established a charitable foundation and a scholarship for future dancers. Dame Gillian Lynne left this life on July 1st, 2018. On July 2nd, and according to theater tradition, for 1 minute in her memory, London's West End theaters dimmed their lights before performances. Maybe it was the backstage crew members. Or maybe a wizened old cat and a broken-hearted phantom stole the light's brilliance, so they too could mourn the woman who taught us all what it means to surrender to the music of the night.